Hello, my name is MaryD and welcome to my YouTube channel, MaryD Plays. In this video, I'll be doing Fender play lessons, level 1, doing the rock path for electric guitar. In the last videos, did course 1, course 2, course 3. I skipped course 4. The reason is because it's a riff course. I'm planning to do all the riff courses in one video. So if you see a riff course, it's all going to be in one video instead of a bunch of videos. Okay, I did course 5, class 6. Now course 7 is a song course, and just like the riff course, I'm planning on putting the song courses, or do the song courses in a separate video together. There's like 1 or 2 more song courses, and I kind of want them all in one video. Course 8, another riff course. Finally. Course number 9, which is the last video we did, was first time chords, E minor and A minor. And course number 10, again, I'll be doing that when I do the riff course video. So going to course number 11, which is our last watch, because it's the same exact lessons for acoustic guitar. Now, acoustic guitar and electric guitar is kind of interesting because some of the lessons are not exactly the same between the two. You'll find differences, but in this case, with course number 11, it's exactly the same thing. So if you already seen or if you already watched the acoustic video version of this course that I would done today as well on the 28th, August 28th, you can skip it. I'm doing the exact same course. Only difference is I'm on electric guitar, and the other video will be acoustic classical guitar. Unless you want to see what the sound difference is. There is a difference in how the guitars sound. The acoustic classical guitar will be a lot softer than electric guitar, so which is handy to play like old folk music, or classical music, or flamenco music, or any type of music that requires a lot of finger picking. The classical guitar is the classic acoustic guitar that has nylon strings is perfect for that type of music. Anyways, let's see, course 11, first time chords D and G. Now there's 8 activities, but it's weird. I think it's weird because and basically in 2 different videos, they're showing the same exact thing. They could have just merged all this to one video. It's basically all the same, as well as G. And one thing that they didn't do, that they did over on the E minor and A minor course, you scroll down, they had where you learn to play these 2 chords together. Okay, that's 2 chords together. That's not exactly right. Transition between these 2 chords, where you go from E minor to A minor and vice versa. They don't have that here. You would think that they would include a lesson for that, but as you can see, they don't. That's okay, because I'm going to figure something out, or you're going to see me do it. Now, if you've already seen the acoustic guitar one, then you already pretty much know what I want to do. All right, let's do this. And it's funny because it says last watch. Yeah, that's kind of a little hinting to what I planned, but shh. Anyways, yeah, let's learn D and G, which actually I already know D and G, but hey, it's always good to refresh. Back to the basics. By the end of this lesson, you will review a chord, or review what a chord is, and learn to play the standard D chord. And here's the D chord. I'm kind of adjusting my pickups and volume. That sounds pretty good. All right, let's see, and then those are the tabs for it, which is just the D chord. All right, let's listen to them.
In this lesson, we'll review what a chord is and learn how to play another one of the most commonly used chords, the standard D chord. A chord is a group of notes that are played at the same time. On the guitar, we strum multiple strings while holding different chord shapes with our fret hand, like this. The D chord uses 3 fingers, just like the G and C, but the shape is different. So let's learn how to play this chord. Take your index finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the G string, 3rd string. Your middle finger is going to go to the 2nd fret of the high E string, so there's a string in between, and your ring finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of that B string. You're going to strum 4 strings beginning with your open D string. Let's look at the D chord from another angle. So your index finger is going to go to the 2nd fret of the G string, middle finger's on the 2nd fret of high E, and your ring finger's on the 3rd fret of the B string. Strum 4 strings down. Now you know how to play the D chord. Remember, new chords always take time to get used to, so keep practicing.
Now this practice is hilarious. As I said, I think they should have combined some videos together because this is almost hilarious. And that's it. That is it for this. All right, back again, because we're going to go to our next lesson, which is exercise. Let's practice playing the D chord. We build the chord 5 times, get the chord shape down. Keep practicing this until the chord becomes easier to play. And that, of course, that's your shape. And this is what the tabs look like, real quick. Pretty much same as the G chord. The difference is with this, you play 5 times. They didn't do that with the G.
In this exercise, we'll practice finger placement for our D chord. Let's review our D chord. We've got our pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of that high E string. And we're going to be strumming from 4 down for this D major chord. So let's practice taking our fingers on and off. Let's take it off. Put it back on. You can take your time with this. Strum from 4 down. Take it off again. Put it back on. Off again. Then back on. Then off. On again. One last time off. Then back on. Keep practicing the D chord until you can find it comfortably. This is something that takes time, so don't give up.
Okay, and also I have neighbors, and yeah, I live in an apartment building, and it's the weekend, so there's a lot of activity going on. Not to mention, I got a neighbor who's moving out, and she has people over helping her move out. So if you're hearing commotion, fighting, it's actually normal around here. Good news is no one has shot themselves or shot each other yet. I'm sure that's coming in the future. And on top of that, I live right down the street from the fire department. Actually, I live down the street from 2 fire departments, one north and one south for me. So they're coming and going either way. So in a lot of my videos, one of the fire departments will make a run, and you'll hear them coming to or leaving. So here's that. Now let's see, what is it? Exercise? Because we did this already 5 times. Now, in the case of this versus the last lesson on G, this is actually done 5 times, while the last lesson it was only done once. Again, it's weird, but makes you wonder. Alright. Looks like I have to go back. Usually you can go on to the next lesson, but for some odd reason they have you going back. It's weird. Okay, now we're doing G. Kind of a repeat of prior. There's a little differences though, and you'll see. Okay. Learn to play the G chord, and this is what the G chord looks like. And here's the tab for it, which is a little more interesting than the last one. Now, something like this they should have done with the D, but that's my opinion.
In this lesson, we'll learn how to play the G chord. This is the standard version using 3 fingers. Here's how it sounds. To make the G chord shape, let's start with our first finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the A string. Now, take your 2nd finger, your middle finger, and place it on the 3rd fret of low E. And now your ring finger, 3rd finger, on the 3rd fret of high E. And we're going to strum all 6 strings. Be sure that your index finger is arched off of the D string and that your thumb is pointed up behind the neck. Let's take our fingers off the guitar and try to build that shape again. So first finger goes to the 2nd fret of the A string. Your 2nd finger goes to the 3rd fret of low E. And now your 3rd finger, ring finger, goes to the 3rd fret of high E. And we'll strum all 6 strings. Let's take a look at that finger shape from another angle. So pick up your fingers. Once again, first finger goes to the 2nd fret of the A string. 2nd finger goes to the 3rd fret of low E. And your 3rd finger goes to the 3rd fret of high E. Let's strum.
Oh, something went wrong there.
And that's how you play the G chord.
This finger too? Oh, it would help if I play the right frets. Alright, practice it. First time chord. I have to go back. And back. Now, as I said, this all should have been combined in one lesson instead of broken up like it is, but my personal opinion. I think someone was watching their TV awfully loud on their phone, maybe outside. That's what it sounds like to me. Let's practice playing the G chord. We built the G chord 5 times to get the chord shape down, and keep practicing this until the chord becomes easier to play. A little refresher of what the G chord looks like. And then here's the tab.
In this exercise, we'll practice finger placement for the G chord. Let's review our G chord. We've got our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, our pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string. And we're going to strum from 6 down for our G major chord. Now let's practice taking our hands on and off the strings 5 times. So off, then back on, off, then back on. It's okay to take your time. Off, then back on, off, back on. One last time, off, then back on. Keep practicing the G chord until it feels comfortable in your hands. Be sure to go slow as you practice.
And that's technically done with course number 11, but I kind of feel like Fender Play has neglected something. I don't know. As I said, if you remember in a previous lesson that they did, there was a transition lesson where you play both the E minor and A minor back and forth. You get used to transition between the 2 chords. There's none of that here with this lesson, which is kind of disappointing. So we're going to practice D and G, going back and forth between it. Now we're going to use this practice for G as our metronome to practice the G and D. Okay, and then I want to make some little changes. I want to get rid of the guitar. I just want to keep the metronome. All right, so we're going to start out with, now on the tabs it says that you play all Gs. Well, we're going to play first in measure 1, instead of a G, we're going to play D. So it'll be D, and then D. Then when it gets to measure 2, then we'll do the G. So, and G. So it's D, D, G, G. make some more changes. We're going to do this again, but instead we're going to do G, G, and then D and D in measure 2. So it'll be G, G, D, and D. Third time around, we're going to change it again. We're going to make it where it's going back and forth. So the first measure, it will be D, and then G. And the second measure, it'll be D, and then G. So it's D, G, D, G. And it's played twice. Now I'm going to do that again, but this time it's going to start with G. So it'll be G, D, G, D. Neighbors are really busy. Okay, let's do this.